Thank you. There's Frankie Corrado. There's Craig Button. There is Darren Dreger. The best series are always the ones that A, go the distance, and B, are impossible to figure out. And this falls into both categories. The Canucks look great at home in Game 5. They come in here, and the Oilers absolutely dominate. How did they force this one to the distance?
In Game 5, they just weren't quick enough, the Oilers weren't. They weren't on the puck, they weren't in position, and they got beat pretty soundly by the Vancouver Canucks. Well, that wasn't the case in this game. They were, as our dear friend Ken Hitchcock says, if you want to be a good team and you want to be good defensively, you better check with your legs. And they were checking with their legs in this one defensively.
Well, you're right, and quickness was a key element to their focus. The Edmonton Oilers going up against the Vancouver Canucks in an elimination scenario. Speed and intensity, those were the two things that the coaching staff really pushed. And we saw that relatively early in the first period. Dylan Holloway is a player that the Edmonton Oilers have allowed to develop, I would say, relatively conservatively, but he's ready to be an NHL impact player. And he shows this, utilizing that speed, beating a real good Vancouver Canucks D-core, and then ultimately gets it by Sheloffs. I mean, that's the level of execution, more the message sending that the coaching staff of the Edmonton Oilers were looking for. Get to that Vancouver D as early as possible.
The Canucks do a brilliant job on Connor McDavid in Game 5, and then he gets off to a slow start in Game 6, and we're starting to wonder, is something wrong with 97, perhaps an injury? And then he just turns it on and has 3 assists, and it's game over. How did he rebound in that second and third period?
It was reminiscent of his regular season, where Connor McDavid this year took a step defensively, and we saw that throughout the course of the regular season. It was the same speed and intensity that Darren just talked about with the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid led the way in that regard, and it was a rough start for him. It was almost a tale of 2 games for him. He gets a high sticking penalty, then he gets pushed into the goaltender, and that's not a goal, but then it turns it on, and all of a sudden it's like McDavid is on the puck way more. And for a guy that played 30 minutes in Game 3, they have found ways to limit his ice time, so he's maybe is a little bit fresher. He plays 23 minutes plus the last 2 games. He plays 20 plus minutes, just under 21 in this game, and you can see that as the second period hit, Connor McDavid's game came to life. And it wasn't just offensively, it's defensively here, working hard to get this puck back, and ultimately Connor McDavid's speed and intensity matched that of his team, and it was a massive reason why the Edmonton Oilers were able to win this game.
The major story on this game day was who would start in goal for Edmonton. Chris Knoblauch goes with Stuart Skinner, which raised some eyebrows, not all. We want your analysis on the decision and how it worked out so well. But first, let's hear from the goaltender with Leah Hextall.
So, Stuart, first of all, congratulations on the victory. It's a huge one for your club. But as you were exiting the ice, you were the last one off, and you turned around to the crowd and gave them a wave. What went into that gesture?
Yeah, no, it's actually my me and Vinny's our post-game high five, and he got kicked out, obviously. So I got to do it twice, so I got it done here, and then went back out, saw him, and we got to do it again.
You know, Stuart, you've been the guy for this Edmonton Oilers team all season, but after Game 3, when Calvin Pickard came in, I'm just wondering how you mentally prepared in your quiet moments when you were told that you were going to go back in for Game 6 in a must-win situation.
Yeah, I think obviously to start off, I think Calvin was amazing when he was put in. Definitely got the job done, kept us in it. I mean, just an unbelievable teammate. And for me, I was able to get a little bit of rest and just work on my game and feel good about it again. And I was able to come out and do what I had to do.
Well, no one was cheering for you harder than Calvin on every save you made tonight. And lastly, here it is, Monday night, Game 7, best 2 words in hockey. We're looking forward to it. But no team has won back-to-back games in this series. How will you guys do it?
I think by doing what we did tonight, I think we showed just a lot of desperation, you guys were blocking shots all over the place. I thought both teams played great. You got to give a lot of credit to Vancouver, but you know Vancouver's going to come out really hard, especially in their barn. So I think we're going to have to match that and bring some more. I think that we got it in us, and we just got to get some rest here and get right back at it.
We can't wait. We'll see you there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I like the bravado he had before where he said, I should be starting this game. Because a lot of goalies would say, coach's decision, whatever. And he said, I want to be in that goal. And he has a good performance. It's only 15 shots, Craig, but were there a couple of quality ones in there, plus the victory that justified the decision.
Absolutely. And I love the conviction by Chris Knoblauch going to Calvin Pickard and then saying, no, I'm coming back with you, Stuart Skinner. This is a game that everybody knows the Oilers have to win or not. But this game didn't start out great for Stuart Skinner. Stuart Skinner looked a little skittish in the net. He had some moments in the first period. The first goal, I mean, he's kind of back on the goal line. He's not really finding the second shot in Höglander right after the Oilers. And then a couple of times, you can see where he doesn't even really know where the puck is. He's trying to look around. He's fumbling around in the net. And after that, though, that's where he really found his game. You talk about a goaltender settling into his game and settling into a rhythm. Yeah. That's exactly what happened with Stuart Skinner. And certainly when you have a 3-goal lead, a 4-goal lead, it becomes a little bit easier. But there was some encouraging signs going forward. And Stuart Skinner talked about what they did in front of him, which was impressive as well.
I don't know how you guys felt, but no one would have second-guessed Chris Knoblauch if he went back to Pickard. Just given the fact that when Skinner went out of the net, it didn't feel good. Now, it's a pretty bold decision to put the guy back in the net in a game like this, facing elimination. And think about the stakes for this guy. Like, if they lose the game on his shoulders, what do you think we're talking about? What do you think? Like, it's almost like there's a potential for this thing to get blown up. And not in an extreme way, but there would be a lot of onus on him. And this guy came in, and yes, it wasn't a massive amount of saves, but he still made the saves he had to make, and he settled into the game, and ultimately his team wins because of it.
And they shift the pressure back to the Canucks, and several players, one in particular would be Elias Pettersson, who had a really quiet night again for Vancouver. Let's hear from him.
You guys did well to respond to their first goal. You tie it at 1 and get out of the first period in a 1-1 tie on the road. That seemed like you were in pretty good shape. Where did it go wrong from there?
Yeah, I don't like our second period. I think they took over the game. They were wanting it more. Yeah.
I mean, how frustrating. I mean, missed opportunity obviously here tonight. I mean, you had a chance to eliminate.
Yeah, definitely. But no one said it was going to be easy. But then we got another chance on Monday to win one game to make it a conference final, and I'll focus on that.
About the power play and in particular the 5-on-3, why did you guys struggle to generate tonight, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if we overdid it or I don't know. We just got to look on video, and guess we have to take chances on that. Say if we score there, it's a 3-2 going into third, so missed opportunity, but yeah.
You guys have had success through these playoffs with low shot totals, but is it a dangerous way to play, just 15 shots on goal?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the recipe for success. Obviously, we have won games when we have shot, not many shots, but yeah, it is what it is. They won today, a 7-game series for a reason, and I'll focus on that.
How quickly can you get over the disappointment and try to be excited for Game 7 on home ice?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I know the barn's going to be loud, fans going to be into it, and those are the type of games you want to play. So.
More now from the Canucks, Brock Besser.
Like their top guys came to play, you saw a lot of them. Just how would you assess what happened tonight?
Yeah, we knew it was obviously going to be a difficult task to win tonight, and obviously there's, especially my line, we let up a couple goals in the second there, and I got to get Hyman on that first one, so I'll take the blame on that, and I got to make a better defensive play there.
You've had a great playoff run, scoring a bunch and a lot of shots. No shots for you tonight. Just sort of, where did things go wrong, do you think?
No, I think it's just ebbs and flows of the game, and I think we got a couple good looks on the power play and we didn't score on them, and I think those would have been some big goals for our team to get back in the game, and we didn't execute. But obviously I feel like I personally can be better next game.
How about missed opportunity on the 5-on-3 late in the second period? Big chance to get back.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's another chance to score one and have it be a 1-goal game, and we didn't execute and score there, and we needed to.
Overall, do you feel like you made things difficult enough for Skinner, who's just coming back into the series yet?
No, I don't think we shot enough pucks and got enough bodies there, and obviously that'll be something that we talk about and something we need to do better for next game.
You guys were so effective in your breakouts in the last game. It seemed like you played with the puck a lot less tonight. What changed in that area?
I think that there's just momentum shifts in the game, and obviously, like I said earlier, it's not easy to shut a team out. At least, in my experience so far in these playoffs, just in our first game against Nashville, like these are going to be hard games, and I think we all know that we can be better.
On the power play, is it something that they're doing to shut you guys down, or is it something that you guys want to be doing?
I think we got some good looks and we didn't score.
You guys have been so good at coming back in the playoffs as well. Like, was the belief strong even at 3-1 as you got to the third period?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely believed in here, and obviously they got a couple of goals that obviously sucked and took the wind out of us. But I think the belief is in this room, and yeah.
What about the
Canucks coach Rick Tocchet?
Rick, at 1-1 out of the first period on the road, seemed like you were in pretty good shape. Yeah. Where did it go wrong?
Yeah, I think those 2 quick goals, a little mismanagement of the puck, and then it just unraveled after that. Got to give them Edmonton, when they got those goals, especially the second and the third, they built energy. You could tell they had a lot of legs, and they started dictating play. Your whole season has been about system and structure and defending the middle of the ice, and the Hyman goal, he's sort of allowed to stand in front of the net. The Nuge goal, he goes to the net and is allowed to get there. Is that surprising to you, disappointing to you? Well, I mean, you're disappointed a little bit, but you know that we are a good bounce back team. That's the way I look at it. Our job right now is we got to flush this game. Obviously, some guys know they have to play better, and you have 48 hours to get your energy back. That's just the way it is. It's a game 7. People would kill to play in this situation right now, and we got to make sure we act like we want to kill, be in that situation. But we are a good bounce back team. I expect us to bounce back. I know we'll get some good efforts from some guys. I really believe it.
Rick, with how this series has gone, just where one game doesn't seem to have any relationship to the next one in terms of results, but also in terms of how they look and how they match up. Does that give you anything to draw from in sort of preparing for Game 7? Yeah, everything's. I told you guys, every game's different. Team could play really well, next game not so well. It just seems there's a different story. So that's what they had some good flow at Edmonton, and they kind of, we lost a little bit of our staples there when that happens. So we just got to get it back. It seems like a lot of the logic of your success against Connor actually sort of almost carried over into this game in terms of they looked like they were avoiding the Miller matchup. The power play was quiet, and he still kind of finds a way. Is there something you need to do better against him, or is it just one of those tip your cap games from him? No, I think we just got to play a better team game. I think that's really what it comes down to be honest with you.
Rick, it seemed like in Game 5 you possessed the puck more. We talked a bit about your breakout and how you improved between Game 4 and 5. Tonight it felt like you struggled to break the puck out a little bit. And can you talk a bit about that puck management and how you maybe didn't move the puck as well as you wanted? Yeah, the first were okay. You're right. Second and third. Once again, I felt when a guy got the puck, he kind of waited, and then we had the support guy waited, and in this, you play any playoff how you can't wait, and I thought we waited tonight. We didn't wait the other night, so hopefully we can bounce back from that. Not suggesting that She Loves is the reason for the outcome, but it was 5 goals. That's his play, and is there a chance Demko plays Game 7? No, Demko's not going to play Game 7, but no, he was fine. He was fine. We have a lot of confidence in Artie.
So he went more with the positive, which you have to. No choice. You can't beat up on guys in a situation like this when they are 48 hours from a Game 7. But you heard Pettersson say the 15 shots is not a recipe for success. And yes, the Canucks have won games like that, but Do you try to change something, or do you just have a better effort?
If you could have changed that, you would have done that in the Nashville series leading into the Edmonton series. Like, this has just been the nature of the Canucks in this playoffs. They don't generate a quantity of chances. It's more about the quality that they look to generate. But when that runs out, you have to look to maybe win the special teams battle. And if I told you that Edmonton wasn't going to score a power play goal, Vancouver would have a really good chance of winning this game. But Vancouver doesn't score one either. So it gets sawed off, and they lose the game at 5-on-5.
You look at the Vancouver Canucks, Rick Tocchet's words, we waited. They waited and waited and waited. They weren't quick enough. They weren't good enough. They weren't structurally sound. And Elias Pettersson, if. When you start hearing players talk about if, you get 15 shots, if means we were no good. That's as simple as that. So they're going to have to find a way to be a lot better going into Monday night's game. Rick has confidence in the group there. But, you know, even the Miller, like McDavid ate up Miller. When it got going, McDavid ate up Miller. Miller won't be happy about that. But, you know, for the Vancouver Canucks, one thing I just want to say quick is that watching Stuart Skinner early in the game, you know, you're sitting there and you're going, come on, let's get to him. Let's get to him.
Yeah.
He was shaky. And they didn't have any urgency to get to him, even after the first goal.
No, I mean, they had 9 shots on net in the first 2 periods of play. I mean, that's not enough. You have to identify, as I'm sure they did when they knew that Skinner was getting the start, put as many pucks on him as possible. We heard from all the players talk about that, but the level of execution wasn't there. So let's give the Oilers a little bit of credit, because it felt like in this game, they beat the Vancouver Canucks at their game. And when you look at the score sheet, you see Holloway starting again, speed and intensity, the theme. You see Zach Hyman, typical in front, finds a way to put that puck in. You've got Bouchard, the Bouchard bomb from the point. You've got RNH driving the net. You know, Kane off the face-off win by Draisaitl, who cleaned JT Miller. Like, all of the elements of success from Edmonton's standpoint were there. So now how does Vancouver follow that up? I know home ice matters. It does. But, you know, Rick Tocchet just said they have to flush it. Good luck. Good luck.
Well, but on the other side, as he said, and the question was, like, momentum doesn't exist in these, and the series proves it. Like, you have no idea what to expect one game to the other, and that's probably the best thing the Canucks have going for them. If they win, it will be the first time in NHL history that 4 division winners make up the Final 4. The Oilers would prefer that stat stays the same, and it remains that it's never happened.